So now that we know our parts of the body, we can start to talk about what we look like. And to do that, we're going to use the verb tener, which means to have. And tener is irregular, so it does not follow our rules for verbs. So I'm going to go through and describe each of our conjugations. We have yo tengo, I have. Tú tienes, you have. Él tiene, ella tiene, y usted tiene. He has, she has, and you have in the usted form. Nosotros o nosotras tenemos. Vosotros y vosotras tenéis. Y ellos, ellas, y ustedes tienen. So you might notice that our yo form is just weird, right? We have that G in there, yo tengo. And then the rest follow the rules for stem changing verbs. So now with that verb and our body parts, we can go ahead and talk about what we look like. So for example, I could say I have hair, right? Yo tengo pelo. But that's not very interesting. So we're going to look at some adjectives as well so we can describe the characteristics of different parts of our body. So we have grande, which means big, and pequeño, which means small. So I could say tengo orejas pequeñas. I have small ears, right? And then we have largo, which means long, and corto, which means short when we're talking about length. We also have bajo, which means short when we're talking about height, and alto, which means tall. We have fuerte, which means strong, and débil, which means weak. Lacio means straight, and rizado means curly. And claro, which means clear or light, and oscuro, which means dark. So with those, we're going to go ahead and describe our own physical appearance. So I'm going to choose 3 characteristics about myself and describe them. For example, I can say, tengo pelo corto, tengo ojos claros, y tengo brazos fuertes. So notice that our adjectives always match our nouns in terms of number and gender. If you want a refresher on those rules, I'll link that video below. And go ahead and describe yourself now using tell me about 3 different things about yourself. Muy bien. So now we are going to look at describing other people. We can do the exact same thing, but instead of using yo tengo, I have, we'll talk about other people with our other pronouns. So how would you say, they have weak legs? What about, we have curly hair? All right, so let's look at that first one. They have weak legs. Right, we'll conjugate tener in the third person plural, they. Ellos tienen or ellas tienen. Weak legs. Remember, in Spanish, we always put our noun first and then our adjective. So we'll start with legs, piernas, and then weak, débiles. So our full sentence would be, ellos tienen piernas débiles. And our second sentence, we have curly hair. Nosotros or nosotras tenemos pelo rizado. And notice with this one, just like in English, when we talk about hair, it is a singular object, right? We're not describing each of our hairs. We just use the singular form, pelo rizado.